In our lives, it's inevitable that we're going to go through trials, tribulations, difficult times. And whenever we go through them, we are always looking for guidance. We're always looking for someone or something to help us through it, tell us the right thing to do. Um, what's my next step? What's my best course of action? And a lot of times, we turn to God. God, why are you putting me through this? God, you know, what do I do? What do I do? And what we need to have faith in is if God brings you to it, He's going to get you through it. And in the verse of the day today, it's about the story of Elijah, who he has now killed all the false prophets, and now Jezebel, the queen, wants him dead. So in this, Elijah's pretty scared. He's afraid for his life, and he basically, tells God that he wishes he were dead. And God gives him very very minimal instruction at first as to what to do. Basically, God, I'm your only faithful servant left, and now they want me dead. What am I gonna do? And what does God tell him? And 1 Kings 19:11-13 is God's response to Elijah telling him that he wishes he were dead. And he says, and he said, this is God talking to Elijah. He said, "Go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice." So Elijah's on top of the mount. He's witnessing all this powerful destruction. And, God, where are you? What is this? What's going on? You tell me to go to the top of this mountain, and then you wreak havoc, and you're nowhere to be found. And then after everything calms down, everything's silent, the earth has been broken down, it's been shaken up, and it's been burnt. Now, calm, silence, and Elijah hears the voice. And the voice gives him instructions for his future, and for what is going to happen, and for how he is going to fulfill his purpose. A still, small voice. Now, when we're going through whatever we go through, we have to wait for that voice and trust that that voice is going to be there. And know that God is with us no matter what we're going through. Isaiah 43:2, God says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flame scorch you." Now, we're going to go through what we're going to go through, and we're going to experience it, and we're not going to hear any guidelines as we're going through it. But we just have to trust that we are going to get through it, and that there is a purpose for it. And we're gonna hear that still small voice if we give ourselves a second to stop and be still and just listen. Don't struggle. Don't fight. There's always going to be that moment of peace and calm. And it's in that moment that you'll get your answers. For example, I give a personal example to illustrate this. As with any relationship, marriage, families, things aren't always great. Things aren't always awesome. All right, and right now, I guess you could say that we're going through a little valley financially, and it wreaks havoc on a relationship, and so we're going through that, and we're in a situation where we're both trying to work a lot, trying to work as much as we can, and so there's a storm right there. Okay, then what happened on Sunday was I got hurt at work, so I'm now out of work. I can't pick up any overtime. I can't work to make the ends meet that we need to get the extra money that we need. Very frustrating. And so there's that. Okay, there's a second storm, and then you want to throw a third storm in there. So you want to relate it to a great wind, an earthquake, and a fire. All right, is that now I'm injured. There's things that I can't do because I'm injured. Great. So keep it coming. The hits keep coming, and why? Come on, this isn't a great time. This isn't a good time for me to get hurt. This isn't a great time for me to have to be out of work. This isn't, this isn't conducive to making more money and trying to make ends meet and things getting better and things getting less tense. And so I was sitting with my daughter yesterday and telling her that I was out of work for, this next week, and she says, all of us, her response just blew me away. Talk about a still, small voice to put everything in perspective. And yeah, it's a literal small, still voice. She says, "Yay! Now we can spend more time with Dad, and we can be a family, and we can get our family back on track and start communicating again." And she hugged me and kissed me, and she was so excited, and boom. There you have it. Mind blown. Mic drop. Everything's in perspective now, right? I mean, everything's in perspective. I'm getting paid for the time I'm out of work. Okay, fine. No, it's not overtime, but the time that I get to spend with my family is far more valuable than that. To see that joy in my daughter and to see her put things in perspective like that, priceless. Absolutely priceless. We'll go through any amount of pain, any injury to see that. Everything comes together. Everything comes together. You have to go through it. Absolutely. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to work out beautifully right away. But there's focus. There's purpose. There's a reason. And, we always need to remember to be still and know that I am God. God's got you. And when you're going through the worst things, the trials, the tribulations, you're seeing your world fall apart around you, He's got you. Always trust that there is going to be that small, still voice putting things in perspective for you, making you see that you're going down the right path. Isaiah 30:21. In your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it. whether you turn to the right or to the left. So, trust God, everyone. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your focus on the Lord above, and you'll hear what you're supposed to hear, and know that no matter what you go through, it's for a reason, and it's for your purpose. God bless you.